Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm doing a haul video. I've accumulated some books recently from publishers, and also I went on a bit of a book shopping spree with my lovely friend Tracy from Flamingo Reads. If you don't watch her channel, you should go and check it out. She's very nice and lovely and makes really good reviews. And yeah, we went for a bit of a trip into London together. We do this every now and again. Walked around some shops. We did a few different shops this time. We didn't just stick to bookshops. We ended up going in Primark. I'm desperately in need of finding a new rucksack, but I don't want just a regular rucksack. I want one that's sort of a bit more like a satchel rucksack, and I'm just struggling to find one anywhere, so we thought we'd have a little look around. I'm also looking for a new phone case. Anyway, we came out without either of those, but we did come out with some other things. I got a Dobby t-shirt. I also got, which I posted on my Instagram, but it's really hard to see. I'll see if I can show you here if it will focus. There you go. I got this Harry Potter inspired ring, which I really love, and I've been wearing it ever since I got it. And we also went to the Japan Centre, which is, there's a few Japan centres in London, but the one we went to is near Leicester Square. It's like a giant Japanese supermarket. It's also got some Japanese books and bakery, and you can sit and eat in there. And we didn't sit and eat this time, but we just wanted to go and get a few bits. I was desperate to get some mochi. I love them. And so we got those, and then we picked up a couple of sweetie packs each. I got some for Matilda, and then I picked up these two, which I'm going to be saving, but I'm not sure when for. This one is a pure muscat grape flavoured gummy candy, so that looks like it's going to be interesting. And this one is a grape flavoured gummy belt, so you can see a theme here. I like grape flavoured things. I think I'll save these for next time we go on holiday, for something to suck when we go up on the plane or something, so I'm just going to be putting them away for now. But I'm excited that I managed to get those, and I love going to the Japan Centre. I think next time I go up to London, it'll be definitely somewhere where I'd like to go and eat, because there's so many amazing looking soups and sushis. Okay, but on to the books. The first book actually isn't a book I've been sent by a publisher or a book that I've bought myself. It's a book that I have been lent by the lady that I do my book club with, a lady from work who I go and do like a little book club with. It's just the two of us, and we really enjoy it. We had more members, but they sort of dropped out, so it's just us two hardcore left, but it's really good. We meet up whenever we've both read the book that we've picked. Our current book is All the Beautiful Strangers, I think, by Elizabeth something. So I've got to read that soon. But she recommended this book to me and said that I should borrow it off her, and it's called The Salt Path by Raina Wynn. It's non-fiction, and she knows I've been on a bit of a non-fiction kick, and I just think it sounds fascinating. It's about a woman that learns that her husband of 32 years is terminally ill, and that they've lost their home and livelihood, and so they impulsively decide to walk 630 miles of the southwest coast from Somerset to Dorset via Devon and Cornwall. Living wild and free at the mercy of the sea and sky, they discover a new liberating existence, but what would they find at the end of the journey? And I just think this just sounds truly amazing, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. So that's one I've been lent. Then a book that I've bought myself, I bought this one for myself recently, which is Answered Prayers by Truman Capote. If you've watched my, I've done two videos recently sort of surrounding Harper Lee and Truman Capote. I did the Furious Hours book review of a book I read recently, and then I did a Harper Lee Truman Capote sort of selection of books that I have read, and this one is one that was recommended by one of you, and so I went and picked it up because I want to try and read all of Truman Capote's work. This is the book, or a collection of the essays that were put into, or the articles that were put into Esquire magazine, which is what led to the writing of Swan Song, which is a book that I review in that video. Truman Capote gathered conversations and gossip from his friends and used them in a story, and only very loosely concealed who the people were, but anybody that knew these people would have known who he was talking about, and so he lost a lot of friends, and people shunned him and didn't talk to him because of it. And this is those articles, so I think it would be really good to read those, considering I have read Swan Song and read about it, so I've picked up that one. And then I was sent some books from Book Break from the lovely Emma has sent me these over to me, and I'm really excited of all of these. This first one is called Field Notes on Love, and it's by Jennifer E. Smith. I love the way that they do her books. They're always really beautiful, and this got this lovely gold foiling on. So this is a book about, and I think I've heard this premise before actually, so it's an interesting idea. I'm sure I've heard this premise. In fact, there might be a film with this premise. It's about a boy, he and a girl. This boy has a girlfriend. They've decided they're going to go on this sort of trip across America for their last hurrah before they start university. She dumps him, but she lets him keep the tickets, although her ticket is in her name, unrefundable, unchangeable name. And so he puts this ad out trying to find someone with the same name to enjoy the ticket and go with him. Someone does. Conveniently someone, I think, around his age, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of romantic element in here, so I'm hoping it will just be a really fun, sweet read. Also, I was sent by the same publisher, by Pam Macmillan, is How to Be Luminous by Harriet Ruta Hapgood. This is written by the same author of The Square Root of Summer, which was a book I really enjoyed as well. And I think this is going to be looking at sort of art and mental health. It's about three sisters. Their mother's an artist, their father isn't around, and they're all sort of set to be artists. They've got that sort of rivalry. They've all got these sort of highs and lows in their personality and their emotions, and then their mother disappears, and one of the girls, I'm assuming who's going to be our main protagonist, starts to see things very differently and question things. And yeah, I'm just interested to see where this goes and how it tackles what I think is going to be a story with mental health themes. And then the last book that they sent me, which I'm really excited about, is called Tokyo, The Bells of Old Tokyo, Travels in Japanese Time by Anna Sherman. This is a non-fiction book that is an exploration of Japan and Tokyo, and uses history and conversations with different people and you know, a lot of research into Tokyo itself to fill us in on this amazing place. So it's definitely one that I want to get to and immerse myself in at some point. I was also sent very kindly by Simon & Schuster a proof copy of Scars Like Wings by Erin Stewart. This comes out in October. This is sort of tipped to be a YA answer to Wonder. It's about a girl. She is returning to school after being disfigured in a house fire, and it's really looking at how she's changed and how she feels about herself, and coming to terms with the change to herself and how people react to her and how she reacts to them. And she meets another girl who sort of starts to help her feel more herself again. And yeah, I just think this is going to be a really interesting read, and I hope it's done really well and tactfully, because I think that's really important with this sort of subject matter. And then for the books that I picked up myself, I was very restrained for me, and I only picked up 5. We went to loads of bookshops, but we went to an Oxfam bookshop, which we normally frequent, and we went to Any Amount Books, which is one of my favourite secondhand bookshops in London, and I got these books all in there. So in the Oxfam bookshop, I found this book which has been on my wish list, so I wanted to pick it up, and it is The Body Lies by Jo Baker. This just sounds really great. Jo Baker wrote Longbourn, which is a book I really enjoyed, which is sort of a downstairs a Pride and Prejudice. It's set in the Pride and Prejudice house, in the Bennet household, but written from the perspectives of the servants. I read it years ago and just thought how amazing it was. I really loved it. I know it's a bit of a Marmite one, some people don't like it as much, but I really liked it. And Jo Baker has now written The Body Lies, which is a bit different for her. It's a bit more of a crime book. It's about a woman who is she a university lecturer? She's a writer, and she accepts a job at a university in sort of a remote countryside location, and one of her students starts writing a story, quite a gruesome murderous story, and she starts to see hints that perhaps she is the person that is being written about in the story. So I think this is going to be a bit of a thriller, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she does in that genre, because I really like her writing style. And then the other 4 books I picked up in Any Amount, and they are a bit of a mishmash. The first one is a book that actually I wasn't going to pick up because I liked the first book that I read by this author, which is set in the same world, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to sort of carry on reading. It's not a sequel, so you can read it separately, I believe. but it's set in that same sort of place, and that is The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. So this is it's set in the same world as Geekerella, which is a Cinderella retelling, which I enjoyed. Didn't love, but I enjoyed. I think it was a 3 or 4 star read for me. But this is set in the same sort of universe. It's not really a universe because it's like a contemporary world, but the same contemporary world with the same sort of people. So this is about a teen actress, Jessica Stone, who is one of the stars in one of the biggest movies in the world. She found it she couldn't hate it more, so she hates being a star. She's part of the Starfield mega fandom, which is the fandom that's discussed at the beginning with this film originally going to be made, and it is the male star in that film that's sort of the prince in the first story. And then this one is about her meeting Imogen, who is a super fan, and yeah, I think there's going to be a romance there, and there's probably going to be some sort of Comic-Con-y type situation, which I really enjoy anyway. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to be sort of an LGBT romance, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. It was ridiculously cheap. It was like £2, and so I thought, well, it's worth giving it a go because I did enjoy the first one. The next one I picked up because I really liked her non-fiction writing. I follow her on Instagram, and I have seen her sort of occasionally put snippets up about her book. This book isn't out yet. It comes out in the summer, so I'm not sure quite when in the summer. Apparently August, but Any Amount often has sort of proof copies. And this is Laura Jane Williams' Our Stop. Laura Jane Williams, the non-fiction I read by her was when she spent a year being celibate, and she talked about that and talked about it quite frankly. And she writes for some magazines, I think, as well, and she runs quite a lot of writing workshops. But I just think she's going to be quite a comical, rom-com-y type writer. And from what I can gather, this book is about, I'll read you the blurb because actually she writes really sort of quite nicely and succinctly, but quite in a comical way. Nadia gets a 7:30 train every morning without fail. Well, except if she oversleeps or wakes up at her friend Emma's house after too much wine. Daniel really does get the 7:30 train every morning, which is easy because he hasn't been able to sleep properly since his dad died. One morning, Nadia's eyes catches a post in the daily paper. To the cute girl with the coffee stains on her dress, I'm the guy who's always standing near the doors. Drink sometime? So begins a not quite romance of near misses, true love, and the power of the written word. And I just think that's going to be a bit of a fun, heartwarming, funny story to read over the summer. So I'm looking forward to that one. The next one, again, is sort of a fun, summery one. I've been seeing so many books. This must be a theme recently of books about royalty. There is is it Red, White and Royal Blue or something like that, which is an LGBT about two princes falling in love, and everyone's saying how great that is. I just keep hearing all these sort of royal books coming out that everyone's loving, and I saw this one. This again doesn't come out until September, and it's called American Royals, and it's by Catherine McGee, and it just sounds like a proper rompy royal affair, and there's definitely some hints there to real life royalty. It says, meet the Washingtons, the most scandalous royal family ever. The rebel, Her Royal Highness Princess Samantha, is only second in line to be Queen of America, so no one minds too much who she dates and how hard she parties. Can you think who that's? Yeah, bit of a gender swap there. The heir. It helps that her sister, Princess Beatrice, is literally perfect bee and is demure, sweet and beautiful, and she knows that the crown always comes first, doesn't she? There's the schemer. Daphne Dayton might be newly noble, but she won dashing Prince Jefferson's heart once, and she'll do anything to get back into the court's favour and his bed. The nobody. If only Daphne knew that her greatest competition is a plain commoner, Nina Gonzalez, a part-time librarian who just wants to stay out of the spotlight. Together, these four young women must navigate the drama, gossip, scheming and sizzling romance of the most glorious court in the world. There's everything to play for, but there can only be one queen. I just think this sounds really fun. Love the sprayed edges, and you know, what would happen if America had a queen? I just think it sounds brilliant. So I picked up that one, and then totally out of base, and this came out in November 2017, but when I looked it up on Goodreads, I was so shocked at how good the ratings were. and I was just really excited to find this copy because I just think it sounds brilliant. It is non-fiction and it's called The Unexpected Truth About Animals, a Menagerie of the Misunderstood by Lucy Cook. And I really love this sort of proof cover. I don't like the real cover as much. Tracy picked up the real cover in the Welcome bookshop when we stopped to have coffee, and it's not half as attractive as this one, but it just sounds brilliant. It says, history is full of strange animal stories invented by the brightest and most influential, from Aristotle to Disney, and they reveal as much about us as they do about the animals they misrepresent. We once thought that eels were born from sand, that hippos were fire-breathing horses that sweated blood, and that bears gave birth to formless lumps that were licked into shape by their mothers. Zoologist Lucy Cook unravels many such myths, revealing the facts she's uncovered while sniffing out vultures, snooping on sloths and stalking drunken moose. The Unexpected Truth About Animals is in equal parts astonishing, illuminating and laugh-out-loud funny, starring feminist hyenas, perverted penguins, frogs in taffeta trousers and exploding bats. Just think it sounds brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this one when I have my next binge on non-fiction. Anyway, I'm off to do some reading. I'm reading a really good book at the moment, so keep your eyes peeled to find out more about that soon. But what are you reading? Have you read any of these? Do any of these sound exciting to you? Let me know, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.